Hello everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so very much. And today is Thursday, and I'm going to see what I need to maintenance out here, if anything. We had a good rain a couple of days ago, so everything still looks pretty good. And I wanted to come on and just kind of show you, even though it's hot, we still have blooms, and they look pretty decent so far. Now, as you can see, the leaves are starting to fall out here. We have a whole bunch of trees out here. I mean, a lot. So imagine what the end of August is going to look like, or even before. This backyard won't look anything like this. It'll be covered with leaves from top to bottom. So just as an example, this, so this is what I'll be dealing with at the end of or before. So I figured let me get out here and show you what's going on. So in our under the tree side garden here, this still looks pretty good. The impatiens are doing really well because this is a little shady over here. And then there is a coleus trying to peek out there. And some more impatiens still blooming pretty good. I can never get this right of philodendron or rhododendron, but when I brought it outside, it had one leaf on it, and now it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe, yep, and one is on the way right there. We've got some heuchera, that's still looking good. More coleus right here, and hostas, coleus, and begonia. So everything is still looking pretty good. Remember the fire pit that I recycled, the fire pit screen that I recycled? That's doing really, really well. I am ecstatic about that. So it's got the caladium, the coleus, no, I'm sorry, the caladium and the hosta. It's got some impatiens back there, and this is doing very, very well. It was full of blooms, but now it's decreasing in blooms, but that's okay. And then here is the other part of the fire pit that still looks really good. Now the impatiens didn't bloom as much as the one on that side, but they still filled out this basket here, and it still looks really good. This is the ground cover that I need to, I think it's a juga. Thank you, Marlene. Marlene from Marlene's Garden reminded me that that was an ajuga. So I do need to split that up so it won't overtake this pit right here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to put here in this spot. I was saving it for something special and I found it. I'm going to hurry up and go in. These mosquitoes are outrageous. So I found this from Walmart, the clearance section, and it's a begonia. And I figured it was only $3. So I said, let me go ahead and get it and see what it can do before the end of the season. So I think this begonia was like $6.97. You know, Walmart's price is always in a 97 or 98 or something like that. It was $7.84 actually. So for $3, that's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this right in there so it can close out the summer for us. I hope that you all are doing well. This is just a brief little video just to show you what's going on in the garden, and everything is still looking pretty decent, so I figured I'd come and show you. That's all. So we're just going to drop this right in there and cover it. Just that simple. So let's see what it looks like with this begonia. All right, so I'm glad I saved that little spot just for this begonia. I didn't know what I was going to put there. A fern is right up under there, but it's not growing fast enough, so I needed something in that spot. So that looks beautiful. I added some water to it, and then that should finish out the rest of the summer. Okay, here is the rest of the garden. This coleus here took off in this little carriage here. It's actually two in there, and those look really pretty in there. The hosta is still blooming, or still growing, and this I can't think of the name of it, y'all. I'm getting rusty with the names of my plants. But it's heat tolerant, I know that. It's in the impatient family. If I remember, I put it on the screen, but it's doing very well. It's now about to cover my angel's face, so it's really doing well. And here is an update of the where I planted those impatiens and the lamb's ear. They're doing pretty good so far. Now next year, of course, they'll be a little bit bigger than this because they will come back, and then I'll just pop some impatiens or whatever flower I decide to put in there next summer. So everything is still looking pretty good regardless of the heat. They look very well. The limelight hydrangeas finally bloom, and they are just gorgeous. My neighbor came by the other day and just held one in his hand, and he said, "I love you." And I love it too. They are just beautiful. Hopefully next year I can probably get them bigger than that. You just have to keep them fertilized, stay on a schedule, but they are just, I love these. And then at the end of summer going into fall, they'll turn a mauve. So I love that they give you a 2-for-1. They are just beautiful. I love that white. And at night, it lightens up the area back here. And I love how they are on either side of this arbor here. They look really, really pretty. The cannas are still blooming. A while back, a hailstorm came through and just tore this plant up. So I'm going to go through and cut all the damaged leaves out of them. But they look so pretty. This orange or red and yellow together, they look really pretty. And then this garden is still doing pretty good. The only thing that's still blooming, there is a verbena down there. The roses are still growing, but they haven't bloomed in a minute. The hostas and the lily, astatic lily, is still growing, but the bloom on that stopped a while back. Let's see what else. We have a begonia here that's doing really well, and my elephant ear that I dug up last year, that came back finally. This is a foxglove, and so maybe we'll get some blooms next year, because when I planted it, I took it from the front yard and planted it, and now it is growing kind of leggy. So maybe next year, once it dies down during the summer, it'll do better. They've still got the potato vines here. And then this particular container here has the petunias. It has some verbenas. These are still growing too. And so my irises never bloomed. Hopefully next year I will get some bloom out of them. The snapdragons are still trying to put out some blooms. There are some more irises. And when I showed my vegetable garden, I forgot to show my basil. I did plant these from seeds as well. This sweet potato vine, I'm sorry, the sweet potato vine is right here. It's not doing as good as I thought it would, but it is growing up on the trellis here. It's not doing as good as the one in the garden. And these are the green beans. Now this did better than I thought it would. I've been picking beans off of this, and I need to go and finish picking those as well. But it did produce, it did pretty well. Here's one right here. Here is the one of the drop fields that I got on clearance, and this is still doing really well. It actually expanded to the size of this container right here. I took it out of the pot and put it in there, and I put that in front of my purple chair so it could offset that and also offset my hydrangea that's purple and mauve across the yard. Here is the, this has got petunias in there, and I think this is lobelia, if I'm not mistaken. Those are doing pretty good. These are just starting to bloom. These were clearance plants as well, so they're doing pretty good. And then this is a calibrachoa. It's doing pretty good. Now my wisteria never bloomed. I've had it a couple of years now and they never bloom. And look at this. I don't know, I guess these are beetles or something in there. Maybe that's why they're not blooming. Yep. And then here is another one of those clearance plants that I got from Lowe's a year ago, and this is the the limelight hydrangea, and it's getting ready to put off those same white blooms. So I'm excited about that. These are my clearance plants here that are sitting in some water so they won't dry out. And did I show this one is doing real? This container here is doing very well. This little basket is doing pretty good with the petunias in them. And all I do is just deadhead those and they keep going. Is the other clearance plant from last year, which is also a limelight hydrangea, and it's about to put off those same blooms. So I'll probably put the other one on the other side of this chair. This is the little seating area. I moved the cushions and stuff because of the rain, and I never put them back. But this is an update on the little border that I did. The roses are growing. The other one over there is blooming. But I just love this specific area right here. It just brought out this particular space. So I love that. And I also added a little bird bath, a bird feeder, hummingbird feeder. And we do have the hummingbirds, so. And this is a begonia that just took off. This was a clearance begonia, and it is huge. And it's in the pot with the petite rose. And I'm gonna have to treat this because it's not doing too well. I think it's too hot. But then here is some new growth. Yep. So that's what that looks like. But I think I'm going to move this highlight and put it over there once they bloom. And I bet that would just be gorgeous with the white and the sedum. And then last, here is, I did find some more clearance plants. I found these two, or actually all three of them, from Home Depot. The Limelight hydrangeas, and it was really nothing wrong with them. They had a few dry leaves on them. I came home and cut them off, and this is what they look like. They look amazing. And then this is just a regular hydrangea. I'm gonna move this euonymus, I believe it's called, and I'm gonna put the hydrangea there. This hydrangea here, not these. These are gonna go in my new sitting area. And then this hydrangea, I'm gonna put right here. I'm gonna move this to the front. So I let this sit here for about maybe 2 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, just to see if the leaves would burn, and it seems to like this space. So that's where I'm gonna put that. But don't they look just beautiful sitting back there? That's the way to go with the clearance plants, especially with the perennials, because you'll get the blooms for the following year. So that's what I'll do. I'll plant that in another video, but I just wanted to come and show you what the garden looks like now, even though it's just hot, and the leaves are starting to fall. And here's the other impatient. There's 2 or 3 in here, and look at how tall they are. They are, look at the legs on the stems. They are just huge. And then it's got a fern in there and some vinca vine ground cover. So those look really, really good. And it's just these leaves that I'm gonna have to deal with. And one more thing, I wanted to update you on what my flower box is looking like. The hosta, my neighbor gave me those, and I planted some all across the yard. So hopefully next year they'll be a little bit bigger than that. And the ferns are just, they look so good. The begonias and caladiums, and here is a coleus. And then I bought 2 more ferns that I found on clearance as well. So I put those somewhere in the shade. But everything is looking good. But I know that it's going to be a time real soon where everything is going to die down. But everything did very well this summer. So if they do, I'm proud of what has happened so far. I'm going to show you my hydrangea. This is my favorite part of this hydrangea. When it initially blooms, it's like a periwinkle. And then once the blooms, the color dies off, it turns into this gorgeous fall color. Last year I did dry some out, and I'm gonna do the same this summer as well. But this is just gorgeous to me. And I did transplant some lamb's ear right here and on the other side too, but my little dog, as you can see, no mulch is over here. I came home one day and she was laying right on top of this, had dug up all of the lamb's ear, and they were just scattered everywhere. So I just hadn't gotten around to putting more mulch down, but that's what it looks like. All right, so thank you so much for always tuning in and supporting my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I hope that you would enjoy the content that I'm putting out. I enjoy doing the videos when I'm not too busy. But thank you again. I appreciate you watching, and may the good Lord bless you all real good. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.